Hi there folks. Today I'm bringing you a comparison review. This video is meant to be a supplement to my written photo review on this Chris Reeve Sebenza Stars and Stripes, the small Sebenza Stars and Stripes. And in this video I'm going to be comparing it to my Bradley Alias II. Now the Stars and Stripes is not a new model. And this knife is not brand new from Chris Reeves. A lot of people who like Chris Reeves knives use them as collector's items and don't really use them. For myself, I've been interested in sampling a Chris Reeve knife for a number of years now. If you've ever seen the Rolex photos from a guy who's real well known in the online watch community, Jacques. The good old Swedish meatball, Jacques from Sweden. Jacques has posted a number of Rolex photos with Chris Reeve Sebenzas, and this is going back probably 10 years. So I discovered the Chris Reeve knife at that time, and the Sebenza, and always wanted to just check one out. And never got around to it. The price was, it was hard to justify that price. But one popped open on a sales forum, and it was the Stars and Stripes model. I always said if I wanted to get one, it wasn't just going to be a plain Jane Sebenza. I think the titanium handles need some form of embellishment, either inlays, the wood inlays, which are offered as an option, or graphic embellishment, such as the Stars and Stripes here. Here's the box it came in. Again, this box is a little worn. It's not a new model. Here's the sheath that it comes with. Here's the paracord for the lanyard, and the documentation. And we can see here that this model was made, gosh, almost 6 years ago to the day, just a little over 6 years. So, very nice. Kind of put these away here. Okay, so here's the Stars and Stripes model, and I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Bradley Alias II that we're comparing it with. Both are titanium frame lock knives. About a 3-inch blade on each. Obviously, the Chris Reeve and the Sebenza, they defined and kind of originated this titanium frame lock segment of watch knives. We've seen a lot of a lot of knife companies come along and produce products in this segment, which in some cases pay homage to, or in some cases try to improve upon, the Chris Reeve design. And you often see the Chris Reeve Sebenza compared to the Spyderco Sage II or the Bradley Alias II, because they have so many features and specifications which are similar. And really the Bradley Alias II is just Benchmade's take on the Sebenza. Benchmade does make the Bradley Alias II. They make it for Bradley, with the Bradley name on it. Now, I've had the Bradley Alias II for a few months now, and it's really one of my favorite knives in my collection, and one of my favorite knives to carry. I carry it a lot, and one of the reasons, I like it aesthetically. I like the blue handles, the blue anodized handles. And I'll go ahead and put up a link to my original review of this knife. But it's just a joy to use. It really is. Comparing the Sebenza, I've had this for a few days now, carried it a couple times. Aesthetically, I prefer the Sebenza. The finishing and embellishment of this of this knife does exceed that of the Bradley Alias II, no question. Both of them have a blade steel, S30V. Again, Chris Reeve, kind of created S30V for use in his knives, and it really took off because of his use of it. The Bradley Alias II does use that. Both of the knives have phosphorus bushings. Again, there's not a whole lot of difference from them in terms of their parts and functionality. The biggest difference you're going to see in using these knives is when you deploy them. This small Sebenza is pretty stiff on deployment. That took considerable effort. Comparing it to the Bradley Alias II, that was about half as much effort and it felt twice as fast. When you push out that Bradley Alias II, it almost feels like the blade is pulling away from you. It almost feels like an assisted opener. It's just so smooth and so lightning fast. I just really, to me, from a usage standpoint and how they deploy, there's no comparison. The Bradley Alias II deploys much easier. Now, I posted some things on Blade forums in the Chris Reeve forum there. Kind of talked about the problems that I was having. That this knife was really stiff, and it's well known that the Sebenza is stiff. It's just a fact, and people who are fans of the Sebenza don't seem to care. The mystique of the Chris Reeve knife, the aesthetic, that seems to override other considerations. I was told, hey, take it apart and lubricate it. It's an older knife. It's a 5-6-year-old knife. Lubricate it and see what happens. I took this knife apart, applied Militech to both sides of the friction points on the blade, reassembled it, and it made not one bit of difference. The other thing I was told that if you simply work the knife, deploy it, a couple hundred times, that it will eventually get better. That's probably true. It'll probably get smoother with use. And I don't think I've done it a couple hundred times, but I've been working with it quite a bit. And when I first got it, there were times where I would kick it out and it wouldn't actually go all the way out, and that it would do something like that. But the more I use it, the more it seems to be working in. So I haven't made up my mind at this point if I'm going to keep the knife. Again, aesthetically, I really do prefer the Sebenza. One of the nice, besides the graphics, which I like a lot, and I like the kind of the polished look of the titanium front scale. I much prefer that over the dull gray that you see on so many plain Sebenzas. Like the back. But one of the things I really like is this the titanium pocket clip. It is a separate piece that can be removed, but it looks like it's built right into the frame because it's got the same finish, same material. It looks like it's built right into the frame. The pocket clip on the Bradley Alias II, very nice. It doesn't have that clean integrated look though that the Sebenza has, so that's another plus. Fans of the Sebenza will tell you that the manufacturing tolerances of the Sebenza are far and away superior to the Bradley Alias II. That could be. I haven't taken a micrometer to the blade, the pivots, the screws, the friction points to measure these tolerances. And What I can tell you though is in practical use of the knife, these kinds of things are not necessarily immediately perceptible when you use the knife. Some people swear they can tell the difference. Some people will swear that the Sebenza is far and away the better knife than the Bradley Alias II. And your opinions, your mileage is going to vary on that. This is simply my opinion. I'm not stating that the Sebenza is in any way inferior to the Bradley Alias II. I'm just saying that for my mileage, for my use, when I use the Alias II, it's smoother. When I look at the price difference between these, it's significant. You're going to pay probably $200 more for that Sebenza. You can buy 2 Bradley Alias IIs for what it would cost to buy one Sebenza. For a lot of people, it's a small price to pay for that Sebenza if you appreciate some of the things about it, some of the intangibles in terms of how it's constructed, if it's more of a collector's item for you. At this point, I'm not sure. Okay, so here's some close-up footage of this Chris Reeve Sebenza, Stars and Stripes. And that is just a wonderful graphic that is placed on the handle. There's very few knife manufacturers that can do this kind of detail and this kind of embellishment. I love the anodized blue thumb studs. That's really nice, as well as the lanyard lanyard pin there. Look at the back of the knife here. There's that pocket clip. It's a nice pocket clip, not too stiff, not going to tear up your pocket. Very nice. And this blade is gorgeous. It's a polished blade versus the kind of brushed, almost bead blast finish on the Bradley Alias II. Again, aesthetically, I do prefer the Sebenza. No question there. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous knife. Okay, so there you have it. There's kind of my comparison between these two just awesome knives. You really can't go wrong with either one. The price, a little hard to swallow on that Sebenza, but if you're a true knife fan, it's probably not going to bother you. A lot of people are put off by the price of the Bradley Alias II. Which is going to be right around $200. Maybe a little bit less, if you shop around. Whereas the small Sebenzas that have a graphic on them are probably going to be, in the $400 range, brand new. So, which one do I like better? Aesthetically, no question, the Sebenza. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous knife, and it's just got so many little details in terms of the fit and finish which impress. As a user, that Bradley Alias II, right out of the box, smooth as silk. It doesn't require any kind of break-in period. I didn't have to take it apart and oil it. It just worked, and it works great. And I like it a lot from that standpoint. So it's going to be a tough decision. When I bought the Sebenza, I figured if I liked it a lot, I would part with the Bradley Alias II. Or it'd be kind of a catch and release thing if I didn't like it as much as the Bradley Alias II, and I keep going back and forth on that. So I'll have to let you know which one's going to stay. Hope you enjoyed this comparison. Please leave me some comments. Until the next video, take care and God bless.